Hi, everybody. I'm Steve Farnsworth. That's Adam Helway, and this is Digital Marketing Minute. Today, we're going to talk about making your website mobile. I have to say that a lot of my content is 40% of a lot of my stuff is accessed by mobile these days. It's a big issue. And making it so making your website mobile is really important. So, Adam, a lot of talk about what to do, apps, website things. What do you recommend to your clients?
Well, yeah, like the question you said, apps versus a mobile site. And before I even address that, I wanted to talk about, there's been some research that shows that by 2015, that the folks accessing the web via mobile devices, tablets and smartphones specifically, will surpass people on desktop computers, which is a pretty important thing. And that's across the board. And there's likely, like you said, folks that are accessing your website currently or accessing information that you have available on the web currently via mobile devices. And so just as to remind you, it's not only about smartphones, right? So we have things like our iPhones and our smartphones. You have an Android, I think, over there. And then you've also got your iPads and your tablets and things. And then you even have this kind of in-betweener here, which is an Android tablet. And so you've got a variety of screen sizes. And so I think what you want to do depends on the needs of your site. If we were to think about mobile websites, there is a methodology, there is a technique, there is a trend that's happening right now called responsive design that basically takes a look at your website and says, look, it really isn't about which device it's on specifically. Is it on an Android? Is it on an iPhone? Is it on, a Windows mobile phone? It just matters. Well, what's the viewing size that somebody's looking at it in? Is it something small like a smartphone or something larger like even whether it be a medium-sized tablet or the iPad that I showed you just a second ago? And so what responsive design does is it actually just takes the same content that you have and it optimizes it and shuffles things around a little bit in order to fit it in the viewable area. So no matter what devices come out in the future, for instance, depending on the size of the screen, it will render it a slight bit differently, prioritize certain pieces of content, and so on, versus trying to serve up a completely different website. Now, if you take a look at something like an application is very, very different. You're building an application specifically to run natively on a particular platform, like iOS, which is the platform for the iPhone and the iPad and iPod Touch and such. And then you've also got platforms like Android and, again, Windows Mobile, which means you would have to develop out that website or that presence or whatever it is you're trying to make mobile for all of those individual platforms, which doesn't sound fun for folks who are used to just dealing with a web-based world and want to do something once and make it available across the board.
You're the one that introduced me to responsive, and I was really impressed. And I think one of the things you said, almost in passing, is the most important thing. The big error for most people is they try to put their website onto mobile, and that's always a mistake because people's mobile needs are going to be different. And one of the things I really like about responsive, you talk about the prioritization, and the prioritization is so important because it picks those things which are going to be most relevant to somebody accessing that data from the mobile space. And I think that's one of the brilliant parts about it too. Now you don't have to worry about all the different form factors either.
Yeah, and in the future, in a connected world where now a lot of people, Wi-Fi is all over the place now. Same thing with 4G and LTE. The speed of accessing and being connected to the web while you're traveling and outside of the office now is just going to continue to increase, and coverage is going to increase as well. And what that means is it's not only about whether those devices you currently have are going to be connected to the internet, but there's the potential for screens to be anywhere now, or at least, maybe not in this year, a year from now or 2 years from now, everything from car dashboards to interfaces that you might see inside, shopping malls and so on. And so there's no telling where people want to access that information. Do you want to create something different for every platform that's out there? No. Most of the time, you actually can create one web-based version of your site and then just predict and anticipate the slightly different form factors. If somebody's using it on a mobile phone, they're likely out. They're out of their office, they're traveling someplace, and depending on your business, you might actually prioritize things that are easier for folks to find when they're out and about than, like for instance, maybe sales tools for your particular sales team, making it much easier for them to access on a mobile device, and taking things like navigation, which would normally be this big long strip on a desktop, and consolidating it down to a small touch sensitive sort of interface.
What do you think the takeaways from today are?
To take a look at what really are the needs when you think about going mobile. What are the needs when it comes to going mobile? Do you really need to take advantage of all of the sensors and native features of a mobile platform like iOS or Android? And if so, then just go ahead and develop that out. And you've got to be prepared for the resources that are involved in the maintenance that happens. If not, if you're really just looking to find a way to take your current branding and your current website and make that more accessible to people using it on multiple devices across platforms, then responsive design is the way to go.
That's the Digital Marketing Minute. Please like, share, subscribe, do whatever you do. We'd like to continue the conversation, so please leave your comments down below. Thank you very much.